Do people ever tell you that you're too complex or that you see too many sides of issues? What feels like confusion to others is actually higher order consciousness, the capacity to hold paradox without needing to collapse it into false certainty. You might be a bridge maker, one of 5 evolutionary leadership archetypes emerging during humanity's great transition. Bridge makers move between seemingly incompatible realities without collapsing into compromise or conflict. They're translators of worldviews who create spaces where different truths can coexist without canceling each other out. Think of them as consciousness translators. Here's what's fascinating. New neuroscience reveals that while most people use different brain networks for different types of thinking, rational versus emotional, analytical versus intuitive, bridge makers can activate multiple networks simultaneously. They don't just understand different perspectives, they literally think in multiple paradigms at once. Bridge makers share 5 essential traits. First, empathic bilingualism, fluent in more than one worldview. Second, paradox tolerance, energized, not paralyzed by contradictions. Third, meta perspective, aware of how beliefs are formed, not just what they are. Fourth, linguistic creativity, crafting metaphors that build bridges. Fifth, systems sensitivity, understanding how everything is connected. Let me share an ancient Sufi story that perfectly captures this archetype. Nasrudin lived on the border between 2 warring kingdoms. Each day he would cross from one side to the other with his donkey, carrying bags of sand. The border guards, convinced he was smuggling contraband, would search through every grain of sand but find nothing valuable. This continued for years. Later, when one guard met Nasrudin in retirement and asked what he had actually been smuggling, Nasrudin smiled and said, "Donkeys." The guards had been so focused on the contents, the sand, that they completely missed the valuable animals standing right in front of them. Bridge makers transport value. Others miss because they work at a different dimension entirely. Want to develop your bridge maker capacity? Try this practice, the 4-direction bridge. Choose a current tension in your life and face east. What truth or wisdom lives in the first perspective? Face south. What emotional need is being expressed here? Face west. What are the blind spots or limitations of this view? Face north. What larger metaphor could include both? This isn't just a cognitive exercise. It trains your body to hold complexity without collapsing into false certainty. Here's why this matters now. Harvard research shows that communities with strong bridging social capital, connections across different groups, have stronger economies, healthier populations, and more effective governance. Climate change, AI, social division, none of these can be solved from within a single worldview. We need minds that can speak multiple codes, hold contradictory truths, and still find paths forward. So how do you know if you're a bridge maker? You might be if you naturally mediate between different groups or perspectives, feel energized rather than exhausted by apparent contradictions, can speak different languages depending on your audience, instinctively look for larger truths that encompass opposing positions. Here's your invitation this week. When you encounter conflict, don't rush to choose sides. Ask yourself what truth lives on both shores. What bridge might carry wisdom across? Bridge makers don't avoid conflict, they compost it, turning opposition into new soil for emergence. In our polarized world, bridge makers aren't soft diplomats, they're evolutionary stair steps, creating coherence not through force, but through felt connection. Who will you be in this great transition? If this resonates with you, you might just be the bridge maker our world desperately needs. Keep building bridges. The world needs them.